How's it going, guys? I'm going to show you the proper Sly Cooper settings for both 1, 2, and 3 on the PS2 emulator. Just going to quickly go through it real quick instead of wasting your guys' time by talking a whole lot. Just really quickly pause the video, go back and forth, make sure all of these are the same. Don't think this does really anything because it's associated for like specific games. I just have them checked because I think I did it a long time ago, didn't really bother to change anything. This stuff all needs to be the same as what I have, and then this is of course optional. This is really important to have too. You basically want to have these off. If you have a system like I do, you definitely want to just go with this stuff. I have an 8-core i7, 32 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 1080, so that is perfect settings for that. Sure, a lot of you out there probably have the same machine. I'm just going to test it on the first Sly Cooper, or not the Sly Cooper first one, but the third one, and show you what the settings look like. And when that's loading up, I'm going to go through the third thing here, because we always have this running. Make sure you have GSD being used as the plugin tool. I think there's other ones, but just go with this one. Make sure that you're running OpenGL hardware, not software, and not any of the DirectX 3Ds, because they don't work that well. I did find out for some odd reason that if you run DirectX 3D11 hardware on Sly Cooper 1 with the speed hack for this one right here down to just right there, not that far, but right there, if you're running it at that, or I'm sorry, not all the way down there, up one. If you're running it on the first Sly Cooper with the exact same settings, but with it up just one right here, but with DirectX 3D being used, the game actually runs the exact same, which is weird. But if you set it back down to these settings right here, like I was specifying, and then if you go over to, god damn it, just clicking random things. Go back into GSD. If you run OpenGL, just OpenGL hardware, and then that's pretty much the most important one right there, is the renderer. All these other ones are kind of optional, like based on your settings, what you want. You want to have this check marked, and I usually just run MSAA, but they say use at your own risk with a machine like this. It basically just eats it up like it's soup. High settings, definitely want to use that. I don't really want to pander down. It's just going to take too much time for me to pander down to like the lower end machines on what the settings should be. But if you do have a lower end machine, just kind of tweak with the settings. You can make this a little bit lower than what it's on right now. This is going to affect the game a little bit, just a tad bit more on the artifact side. So if there's a lot of like glitchy stuff happening on the screen or artifacts and stuff like that, I noticed like, because you're running it at like a several times higher resolution than what it's like supposed to be, and running it on OpenGL hardware, it actually, that alone removes the artifacts. It doesn't actually have any, because I was actually tweaking with the settings and noticed that this runs beautifully. And want to make sure this is auto, and then if you can just choose what you want. I usually run it like 5 or 6. I'll put it at actually I'll just put it at 5. This you can keep the same because I think that's at default. You don't want to put it at the PS2 one, don't need that. Anisotropic filtering is that's kind of a preference. I run it at 8. This will really make it look nice too if you run it at 8 times. And then I just leave it at that. You can put it at OpenGL recommended if you want, but I just run it at this because it actually seems to be running the best. The other thing that I have running too is FXAA. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even know if that actually does anything. Like, you may have to like select something else to make it do its thing, but I have that there anyways. I'm running this game on steroids because like anyone knows, these games were designed for 4:3 aspect ratio, and yeah, sure, they're designed for 4:3 aspect ratio, and that's what made the games kind of just like look normal to us back then. but running it at the like a giant 1080p monitor with those settings makes the game look really good. And then with the proper settings, as opposed to the ones that I recommend or that I say are optional, you can make the game run good, and that's what I'm showing you right now. So as you can see, and I've had a lot of problems with 1 and 2 specifically, actually all 3 to be honest, running like crap, and I was kind of a little disappointed because I did enjoy these games. I wanted to play them on the emulator, but everything's working great, and I'll show you what it's running at right now. So running at 100% speed, setting at about 59, just round up to 60, barely goes down past 59, and all the other stuff is nerd stats. I don't know what any of those do. So that's all you need to do, and the game will run perfect for you. So if it doesn't work for any odd reason, the settings that I showed, because I do know that there's actually a decent amount of people that kind of frustrated with the game not running the way it should. If it doesn't run the way it should, just let me know and I can try and help you out in the comment section below. Thank you.